Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
good
Kat.
morning.
Good evening, Kathy. How are you doing?
Yes.
How are you today?
Well, it's a busy day.
Today is a busy day. Wow.
Yeah.
Why was it
Yes.
why is it busy? What did you do today?
I have lot work to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what kind of work did you do today?
Answer the telephone on
Mm-hmm.
the other else.
Uh-huh. All right. What time did you finish your work today?
At 6 o'clock.
Oh, 6 o'clock this evening?
No, afternoon.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 6 o'clock this afternoon. Wow,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
late, right? Does your work usually finish at that time?
Most of most open.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really late. Okay. Well, anyway, Kathy, you said that you've had a very busy day
Yeah.
for this Tuesday, and let's talk about your evening. I'm sorry, your weekend. How was your weekend?
Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I stay at home.
So just you did not go out?
No.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So, what did you do at home, Kathy? How do you usually spend your day at home on a weekend?
I clean my house and
Mm-hmm.
make I I wash my
Mm-hmm.
clothes and clean my house.
Do you, if you don't mind, Kathy, do you live alone?
No, I live with my family.
All right. So you're the only one who usually cleans the house?
Yes,
All right. What about your kids? Do they also help you clean the house?
they can help, but just little things.
All right, okay. All right, so anyway, do you have any other did you what else did you do aside from cleaning the house?
Sorry, could you repeat again?
What else did you do aside from cleaning the house?
My house is uh, is a four four floor house.
4 floors?
Yes,
Wow, that's big.
so
Yeah, 4 floors is a very big house. Uh-huh. And you're the only one who cleans the house?
mm, with my husband clean the house. I with my husband clean the house.
So your husband, since he's going to America, right? He
Yeah,
also has his weekend off.
yes,
Mm-hmm. So at the weekends, you and your husband stay at home and clean.
yes.
All right. Okay, so anything else, Kathy, that you'd like to share about your weekend?
No.
Uh-huh, that's it. Okay. Well, anyway, Kathy, thank you very much. It seems to me that you had quite a relaxing time, even though you just stayed at home during the weekend.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Kathy, let's move on now with our lesson. But before that, have you eaten your dinner?
Yes, I finished my dinner.
Uh-huh. You finished eating your dinner. And what did you have for your dinner?
Rice and the vegetable and
Mm-hmm.
egg soup.
Mm-hmm. Rice, vegetable, and soup.
Yes,
All right. Do you often cook dinner on your own?
yes. I
Uh-huh.
cook dinner every day.
Uh-huh. Every day.
Yes,
What about your husband? Does he also cook dinner?
he always work late,
Mm-hmm. What time does he usually finish?
ab- about half an hour.
Half an hour.
Yes,
Oh, all right. That's quite late as well. So anyway, you every day, Kathy, you don't eat together with your husband?
yes,
Uh-huh. Oh, so only you and your kids.
yes.
Okay, all right. So anyway, Kathy, it's good to know that you're finished eating your dinner. So that means you already have the energy for our class tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So Kathy, hello? Kathy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, let's move on with our lesson now. Let's continue with our topic from last week. Okay, so last week we've started with our lesson, and that is on Unit 2. Can you please read to me the title of the lesson?
Yes.
What's the title of the material? Mm-hmm.
How do you spend your day?
All right, there you go. How do you spend your day? So let's talk about this topic here. So let's first have a very quick review on what we've talked about last time. Okay, last time,
Yes.
Kathy, we've answered some activities here and also answered some questions. We have also um, talked about different jobs. And last time I left you a homework, right?
Right.
A homework, and we are going to continue with that homework. Okay? We
Okay.
have here,
Okay.
Kathy, four categories: professionals, service occupations, management positions, and office work. Now, Kathy, your homework was for management position and office work. Okay, you have to give me two examples for on jobs that has management positions and two jobs that is about office work. Can you read to me your answers, Kathy?
Okay. Uh, president and factory director.
Okay, very good. So a president and a factory director often takes a management position. All right, very good. Great job, Kathy. What about for office work?
Office work is correct.
Okay,
And
and
assistant.
clerk and assistant. All right, very good. Okay. Now, among these, Kathy, among these categories, professional, service occupation, management position, and office work, where does your job fall under?
My job is office work.
In an office work. And specifically, Kathy, what is the name of your job position?
My job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My job, clerk, clerk,
Mm-hmm. A clerk. All right.
clerk.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Kathy, for doing your homework and also for sharing. Now, this time, let's move on to our next activity. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Now, for this next activity here, Kathy, I just want you to look at the words here. Okay, can you please can you see me on the next page, Kathy? I'm at number 3, work and workplaces.
Okay.
All right. Now, at that part, Kathy, I want you to match the informations in column A to column B and down to column C. Okay. So I have here an example already. Let's have the first one here. The first one is a salesperson. Okay. The next one, the salesperson works in a department store. And what the salesperson does is the salesperson sells clothes. Okay? So I want you to do the same thing for the next 5 jobs. For the chef, what does a chef do? Where does a chef work and what does a chef do? Same thing goes for the flight attendant, the carpenter, the receptionist, and a nurse. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So Kathy, for this one, I want you to use
Okay.
different colors for your answers. All right. So I will give you 2 minutes to do that, Kathy. Please answer now and then let's check it together after. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Okay, I finished it.
Okay. So let's check all your answers, Kathy, if all of them are matched correctly. Okay, let's start first with the first one here. Let's have the chef. Okay, so Kathy, where does a chef work?
A chef is work in a restaurant.
Okay, and what does a chef do?
He cooks food.
All right, very good. And this time let's have the flight attendant. The flight attendant, Kathy, where does it work? Where does a flight attendant work?
A flight attendant work for an airline.
Okay, it works for an airline. And what does a flight attendant do?
Place. She serves passengers.
All right, very good. The flight attendant serves passengers. Now, Kathy, let's have a carpenter. Now, where does a carpenter work?
A carpenter work for a construction company.
All right, works for a construction company. And what does a carpenter do?
Uh, he builds house.
All right, the carpenter builds houses. What about the receptionist this time, Kathy? Where does a receptionist work?
A receptionist work in an office.
Okay, very good. And what does the receptionist do?
She answers the phone.
She answers the phone. And lastly, a nurse. Where does a nurse work?
A nurse work in a hospital.
All right, very good. In a hospital. And what does a nurse do?
He cares for patients.
All right, very good. Perfect. So great job, Kathy. I guess this activity is quite easy for you. Am I right? Was it easy or difficult?
Mm,
Uh-huh.
Easy.
It was easy. All right. Now, before we continue, Kathy, there is just one correction that I need you to make here. Okay? Just this word. Can you please repeat this for me?
Okay.
Uh-huh. Can you please read it again?
Receptionist.
All right. Very good. One more time. Please wait, Kathy.
Receptionist.
All right. There you go. Receptionist. All right. Good.
Reception.
Now, this time, Kathy, before we continue, do you have any question?
No.
No question. All right. So let's move on to the next activity that we have here. Okay. The next activity here, Kathy, very easy. Just try to take turns in describing each person's job here. Let's have this one as an example. She's a salesperson. She works in a department store and she sells clothes. Now, Kathy, very easy. You just have to do the same thing and talk about all the jobs, all the 5 jobs that you've answered. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Please start.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He is a chef.
Mm-hmm.
He works in a restaurant.
Okay.
He cooks food. She is a flight attendant. She works for an airline. She serves passengers. He is a carpenter. He works for a construction company. He builds house. She is a receptionist. She works in an office. She answers the phone. She is a nurse. She works in a hospital. She cares for patients.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Kathy. Among these jobs here, Kathy, a salesperson, chef, flight attendant, carpenter, receptionist, and a nurse. Which among these jobs here, Kathy, would you like to be someday?
I want to be a chef.
Mm-hmm. You wanted to be a chef. Why chef?
Yes. I like cook
You
food.
like cooking. If you are
Yes.
going to be a chef, Kathy, what kind of food would you like to serve your guests? Would it be like Chinese food, American food?
I like Chinese food.
Mm-hmm. So you're good at cooking Chinese food?
Maybe.
Maybe. But usually when you cook it, does your kids and your husband love it?
Yes, they love it. Love
They
it.
love it. All
Yeah.
right. Good. Okay. So anyway, Kathy, which among these jobs here do you least like to be one in the future?
I don't want a nurse.
You don't want to be a nurse. Why?
Yes. I it's hard work
Mm-hmm.
for me.
It's hard work. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a lot of nurse working in Taiwan right now, Kathy?
In Taiwan,
Yeah.
a nurse always work hard, and their work is very hard, and they have uh, they have a low payment.
Well, I think it's also the same here in the Philippines. Nurses here, we have a lot of nurses, but they are paid very low. So that is why most of the nurses that we have here often work abroad or in another country.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Kathy, for sharing something about that. Okay, now this time let's move on to our next activity. Okay, so before we
Okay.
continue, Kathy, do you have any other question?
No.
No question. All right. So this time, let's have the conversation, Kathy. You will hear now a conversation between two people, Jason and Andrea. All right. So let's try to hear first, Kathy. What are Jason and Andrea talking about? Is talking about. Okay. So Kathy, I'm
Okay.
going to play it to you. Please listen carefully. Kathy, can you hear that?
Yes.
All right.
Unit 2. How do you spend your day? Page 9, Exercise 4. Conversation. Describing work. Part A. Listen and practice.
Where do you work, Andrea?
I work for Thomas Cook Travel.
Oh, really? What do you do there?
I'm a guide. I take people on tours to countries in South America, like Peru.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it's a great job. I love it. And what do you do?
I'm a student, and I have a part-time job, too,
Oh, where do you work?
in a fast food restaurant.
Which restaurant?
Hamburger Heaven.
All
Page
right.
9, Exercise 4, Part B. Listen.
Okay, but before we go to part B, okay, did you hear the conversation clearly, Kathy?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we listen to the rest of the conversation, let's practice reading it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's check for your pronunciation in this part, Kathy. I would like you to read the lines of Jason, and I will read the lines of Andrea, okay?
Okay.
All right, please start.
Where do you work, Andrea?
I work for Thomas Cook Travel.
Oh, really? What do you do there?
I'm a guide. I take people on tours to countries in South America, like Peru.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it's a great job. I love it. And what do you do?
I'm a student, and I have a part-time job too.
Oh, where do you work?
In a fast food restaurant.
Which restaurant?
Hamburger Heaven.
All right, good. Thank you, Kathy. This time, let's switch roles. Okay, this time I will be Jason, you will be Andrea. All right?
Okay.
Okay, let's start. Where do you work, Andrea?
I work for Thomas Cook Travel.
Oh, really? What do you do there?
I'm a guide. I take people on tours to countries in South America like Korea.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it's a great job. I love it. And what do you do?
I'm a student and I have a part-time job too.
Oh, where do you work?
In a fast food restaurant.
Which restaurant?
Hamburger Heaven. All right. So this time, Kathy, I want you now to listen to the rest of the conversation. Okay? Listen to the rest of the conversation, Kathy, and try to answer the two questions that we have here below. Okay, let's start.
Listen to the rest of the conversation. 1. What does Jason do exactly? 2. How does he like his job?
What do you do exactly? Do you make hamburgers?
No, I don't. I just take orders.
And what's it like there? Do you like your job?
Sure, it's fun. And I get free hamburgers too.
All right, Kathy, did you hear the audio file clearly?
Yes, I can hear.
Yes, all right. So are you ready to answer these two questions that I have here below?
Okay.
Okay, let's start with number one. What does Jason do exactly?
Jason just take the order.
All right, very good. Jason just takes the order. Okay, what about the second question? How does he like his job?
He can get free hamburger.
Mm-hmm. He can get free hamburgers. All right, very good. So great job, Kathy. I think you have a very good listening skills because you're able to answer all of these questions here very well. All right. Now, this time, Kathy, before we continue, do you have any other question?
No, I have no any question.
No question. All right. So this time, let's move on to the next activity. So, Kathy, I want you to look at now the picture that we have here below. Okay, please look at the next picture. Let's have the grammar focus. Okay.
Okay.
So in the grammar focus, Kathy, you are going to learn how to deal with WH questions and statements and answer it using a simple present. Okay, so for the simple present, Kathy, very easy. You're just going to use, in making the simple present, you are just going to add s or es to the verb, or you can just use the base form of the verb to answer WH questions. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now for this part, Kathy, I want you to let's try to look at the chart that we have here below, and let's try to listen to the audio file. Okay. So Kathy,
Okay.
while
Okay.
playing the audio file, I want you to read. I want you to read quietly.
Page 10, Exercise 5, Grammar Focus. Simple present WH questions and statements.
What do you do?
I'm a student and I have a part-time job.
Where do you work?
I work at a restaurant. I work in a restaurant.
Where do you go to school?
I go to the University of Texas.
How do you like your school?
I like it very much.
Where does Andrea work?
She works for Thomas Cook Travel.
What does she do?
She's a guide. She takes people on tours.
Where does Jason go to school?
He goes to New York University.
How does he like it?
He loves it.
You.
Work. Take. Study. Teach. Do. Go. Have.
He, she.
Works. Takes. Studies. Teaches. Does. Goes. Has.
All right. So, Kathy, did you hear that clearly?
Yes, I can hear.
All right. Okay, that's good. So, Kathy, again, when we use I or you in a statement, we usually use the simple present verb. Okay? So for example, work, take, study, and so on. Just the main form, the base form of the verb when we use I and you. However, when we use he and she, we usually take the other form of the verb, and that is by adding s or es to each verb. For example, she works, he takes, she studies, he teaches, and so on. Okay? This time we will add s or es to the verb. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Now, Kathy, before we continue, do you have any question?
No.
No question. Now, after having studied how to use simple present and answering WH questions, Kathy, let's move on to answering the next activity. Okay?
Okay.
So, for the next activity, I want you to complete the conversation. Let's have here the example. What?
Do you do?
All right, very good. What do you do? So, I say, I'm a student, I study business. Okay, and so on. So, Kathy, I want you to complete now the conversations for the next blanks. Okay, so I'll
Okay.
give you 2 minutes for that one. You may start now.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
finished.
Okay. Are you sure with all your answers now, Kathy?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now let's try to check the conversation here. Let's try to read your answers by reading the rest of the conversation. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Kathy, you will be letter A and I will be letter B.
Okay.
Okay, let's start.
What do you do?
I'm a student. I study business.
And where do you go to school?
I go to Jefferson College.
How do you like your classes?
I like them a lot. Very good. Let's have the next conversation. This time, Kathy, I will be letter A, you will be letter B. Okay?
Okay.
What does Kanya do?
She's a teacher. She teaches mathematics at school in Bangkok.
And what about Samsak? Where does he work?
It was for an electronics company.
What does he do exactly?
He's a salesman. He sells computer equipment.
Okay. For the last one, Kathy, this one is almost there. Your answer is almost close. However, to be exact, the word that we need to use here is sells instead of sales. Okay?
Okay.
Sales here is, I'm sorry, sales here is the noun. Sells is the verb. Okay?
Okay.
It's a noun and sells is the verb. It is the action. Okay?
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Okay. So anyway, Kathy, you still did a great job answering this conversation part here. Do you have any question about that?
No question.
No question. All right. So if you don't have any more question, Kathy, let's move on to the next activity.
Okay.
Okay. Now for the next activity here, Kathy, you will see three boxes. Now for these three boxes here, you will have three different jobs. The first one is, I'm sorry, please wait. The first one is the doctor. The next one is the travel agent. And the last one is the police officer. All right. Now, for each job, Kathy, I want you to list down all the sentences. I'm sorry, I want you to complete the chart and list down all the things that you know about these jobs. Okay? Everything that you know about this job, I want you to list them in these boxes. Okay?
Okay.
All right, okay. Now, I already have here an example for the doctor. So, an example here for the doctor, he works in a hospital. The doctor has an office. He works for long hours and he also cares for patients. Now, I want you to think of things about a travel agent and about a police officer, okay?
Okay.
All right, so Kathy, I'll give you 2 minutes for that one. You may start now. try to think of I different facts about travel agent and police officer. Aside
Okay.
from this pattern, try to think of another one.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Yaw na. Na. Pagtuon na ang sudyate kay ako na ang nagayon. Na.
Naman, bawal mag yun.
Anything else, Kathy, that you'd like to add under the police officer?
Yes.
Hmm. So is this it? Or is there any?
Yes.
Uh-huh. This one is already done.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, after completing this, after completing this chart here, Kathy, what I want you to do next is I want you to write sentences describing each job using he or she. Okay? So what you're going to do now, Kathy, is that you're going to write sentences using he or she. Okay? Take for example for the doctor. Okay? For the doctor, Kathy, I'm going to say he works at he works in a hospital and
Mm-hmm.
he has an office. He usually works for long hours as he cares for the patients. All right. Now I want you to do the same thing, Kathy, for the next two jobs here using he or she. All right. So you are going to write something using all the information that you've written for the travel agent as well as for the police officer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to give you a minute for each. 1 minute for the travel agent and 1 minute for the police officer.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Finished? Okay. Now let's try to read your sentences. Kathy, let's have the first one here. Okay. So the first one is about the travel agent. She works in a travel company. She usually takes customers to different countries. She has to know about different history so that she can do right. For this one, Kathy, instead of saying she's job well, it's better if we say she can do her job well.
Okay.
Okay, so just that. Okay, but for everything here, Kathy, well done because this is written well. Okay, let's have the next one for the police officer now. You said that, I'm sorry, for the police officer, he has, oh, he has a gun. Okay, for, he works long hours. It's a hard work. He takes crimes. Here, Kathy, instead of using crimes, it's better if we use, for this part, it's better if we use now criminals.
Oh, criminal.
Yes, he take criminals to the jail. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, Kathy, you did a great job writing sentences and also listing all the facts that you have for each job that we have here. All right, so good job on that one. However, Kathy, we do not have enough time for now, so we are going to continue the rest of these activities on Friday. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, Kathy, before we do that, do you have any other question?
No question. Thank you.
No more question. All right. So, Kathy,
Yes.
thank you also for coming to our class tonight. I had a great time teaching you, and I hope that you learned something today. Okay, so I'll see you on Friday, Kathy. Thank you very much.